What up, everyone? Rich Mays Lopez from SoulCollector.com with my man
Brendan Dunne, news editor at SoulCollector.com.
And we are back in the building once again with a new full-size run. B. Diddy, it's a short week for us. We were here last Friday, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't been an exciting week already so far.
Yeah, there's, today has been really busy as far as new sneakers, new release dates, things of that nature. The past couple days, we are definitely here. Like you said, it is a short week, but the content is not short.
Content never sleeps, and it's always hot fire content. Brendan, let's get right into the news section. This is your expertise. How are we kicking it off today?
First thing we want to talk about today is some Yeezy news. The guys over at Yeezy Mafia, friends of the
Shout
site.
out to Yeezy Mafia, by the way.
Yeah, they were in here yesterday talking. They got some big plans on the way, so definitely stay tuned for more of that. But some new leaks from the Yeezy Mafia guys in the past week. A couple of them, some colorful Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost colorways on the way for December. A lot of the Yeezy stuff has been pretty muted relatively when it comes to the colors and stuff like this. What we're hearing for December, again, this is from the leaker group Yeezy Mafia. You guys, if you know anything about Yeezy Boost, if you follow that scene, you definitely know them. There's one called Semi-Frozen Yellow, and then another one called the Blue Tint colorway. So definitely more colorful than what we've seen in the past from the Yeezy Boost stuff. And then talking about stuff that Kanye's already released, there's a restock of sorts or a re-release, I don't know what you want to call it, of the Adidas Yeezy Power Phase Calabasas, this shoe right here. If you guys remember in March when the shoe first released, it was only on YeezySupply.com, a website that's incredibly difficult to buy anything off of.
Absolutely.
In my
Unless
limited
you want
experience.
them crazy gold chains, though.
Yes, yes, the $10,000 gold chain.
You want the $13,000.
Let's not forget the kid who, on Twitter, he had an auto add to cart thing set up, and it looked like he accidentally bought a $10,000 chain from the Yeezy Supply website. I hope he's reconsidered decisions like that.
Yeah.
The Yeezy Calabasas Power Phase, according to Yeezy Mafia, is coming back. It's going to release via Adidas this time. Adidas.com, we're hearing on June 4th. And then it's also going to be available in the Adidas Confirmed app for the Adidas stores in Soho and LA. The rumor is that those will go live. Reservations for those will go live on May 31st.
B. Diddy, I got to ask you. Are we or have we reached Yeezy 350 V2 overload? Are we getting close?
We're definitely getting close.
We're inching closer.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
I feel like every month a new 350 V2 is announced. Every month there's another leak of Yeezy 350 V2 which may or may not drop. I feel like we should be getting close to moving on from that one soon.
That being said, it kind of is in a way. I mean, they're still limited for the most part, pretty limited. Some different than others, but kind of delivers on that original promise Kanye West had about everyone who wants to get Yeezys will eventually be able to get them. So if they're making more and more, and there's more on the market and the resale prices go down, I'm not mad at that.
Some people will be mad.
Yeah.
Many people will be mad. Resellers are going to be pissed off.
I think they're already upset.
Brendan, yeah, they are. Brendan Dunne, Power Phase for you or 350 V2 on the same day if they drop? What are you copping?
All things being equal, I'd rather have the Power Phase.
Because you are the Power Phase guy, basically.
That shoe is a lot more my speed. I mean, I respect the Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost for what it is, but I probably won't be wearing a pair anytime soon. A white leather Power Phase.
That's you.
Yeah.
I feel like, just to reiterate what B. Diddy said, I feel like we're getting very close to 350 V2 overload. The 350 original had a much shorter run, maybe 6 colorways? I can't remember how many, 5, 6 colorways. 350 V2, it seems like there's one dropping every month at this point. The last joint, the cream white, it was basically everywhere. It's still sold out, so I'm not mad at it.
By the way, shout out to whoever stole a pair of cream white infant Adidas Yeezy 352s off my doorstep. We are looking into that. UPS is on the case.
It's an APB out for you.
This is not over yet.
Don't ever come through and steal B. Diddy's Yeezys. It's a problem. I feel like we're getting close to it. Moving on, B. Diddy, from Yeezy to Jordan. Jordan introduced a new flip on the Air Jordan 2 this week, and they're calling it the Air Jordan 2 Decon. Dropping in 3 colorways, a mint, a gold, and a Bordeaux. It's basically a flip of the Air Jordan 2 minimalized. So they're taking out the lining. It's like an NL jump off.
Exactly.
And still keeping it premium, full suede uppers, full tonal colorways. B. Diddy, your thoughts on the Decon Air Jordan 2?
I'm not a huge fan of it. I respect the rollout, and I think they did the right job. We saw some social media people getting the sneakers, posting them early, things of that nature, people who are close to the brand.
Yep.
And I think that's smart to do with the shoe because I don't think otherwise too many people would care about it. And to be honest,
if it was just a regular drop on Nike store.
Exactly.
Yep.
And to be honest, I don't really care about it. So
Yep.
I think good work on the execution of the rollout, but the shoe itself is
Not
I'll
for
pass
you.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the regional thing.
That's what I was just about to say. I think the most interesting news bit around the Air Jordan 2 Decon is the fact that all 3 colorways are regional exclusive. Now, if you've been in the game long enough, this isn't new to you. Nike, Jordan used to do regional exclusives a lot back in the day. There were even content exclusives, or continental exclusives, like Japan, Tokyo, so on and so forth, America, UK, and also regional exclusives. So you had to be in that area to cop.
Right.
They haven't done that in a long time, so to see them bring that back is really dope to me. I do like the fact that you can only cop one in a specific region. That goes in hand. Also, B. Diddy with this week and last week, Nike introduced the Shock Drop and the Stash. So I think
doing
it's
new things on
exactly.
Nike sneakers as
I
far
think
as
it's
how they
really
release
dope
the
that
shoes.
Nike and Jordan are making copping sneakers fun again, right?
Yeah.
Cop sneakers, make copping sneakers great again, something like that.
We'll get a hat.
We're gonna get that hat.
Stay
tuned.
Justin G in the comments agreeing with you, longtime viewer. If you have
Yeah.
any thoughts on what we're talking about,
Let us know.
Definitely let us know in the comments.
Stay
Justin
tuned for
saying,
that FSR merch, though.
He says,
make copping sneakers great again.
love the regional limited
It's
release
dope.
on these. Yeah.
It's dope. You know, it's not foreign to you if you've been in the game for a minute, but it is dope. Listen, copping sneakers in 2017 is either a pain in the ass or not fun. Either way, it's like a chore to cop sneakers in 2017,
Absolutely.
which sucks because copping sneakers used to be a lot of fun. So at least Jordan and Nike are trying to do things to add some fun to dropping sneakers and not having it suck, like trying to cop stuff off Yeezy Supply and crashing and so on and so forth. If it makes it easier and more fun, I'm with it. The Air Jordan 2 Decon to me is dope. I'd rock it, but at least it's making sneakers great again.
And again, the breakdown on these is the mineral gold one is going to be on the West Coast.
Yep. Bordeaux on the East.
The Bordeaux on the East Coast and the mint foam kind of making up the difference, Midwest, South. So that's where, if you guys are trying to get a pair of these, definitely get in touch.
Retail is $160.
Yeah.
I think it's dope. I do like and this is different from my perspective of Jordans overall, because I'm not a huge fan of the Jordan 2. I'll bookend it with 1 and 3s. But I do like that Jordan is keeping their collaborations and their flips of the Jordan 2 very organic. Just Don kept it premium, and these are premium too. The Air Jordan 2 has always been a premium sneaker. It was the first sneaker ever created in Italy. So I like that it's at least organic, true, and like I said, they're making sneakers fun again. I'm with it.
I'm going to talk about another big release this week, one that you probably won't be participating in. I probably won't be participating in, but I know a lot of people will.
Might.
Okay.
I might.
You might pick up a pair?
I might.
All right.
Might be my
We're
swag
talking
for this
about
one.
Rihanna's latest with Puma. This week she has a set of jelly slides releasing.
Iconic.
This is such a crazy move. I respect it.
Yeah.
$90 each.
Fire.
3 colorways. They come in this translucent pink.
Yes.
And then a white and a black. The white is more clear.
Yeah.
Rich, you're getting a pair of these?
Obviously, I'm not getting a pair of these, but the point of the matter is, jelly slides are like the quintessential, like, I don't want to say hood, but the quintessential like summer slip-on slide for
Right.
females.
You need those.
Rihanna, you need, it's like white and white Air Force Ones for dudes. So Rihanna putting her stamp on jelly slides is just so intelligent and dope that I'm here for it. I'm not copying a pair, but if you are copying a pair, salute to you. I think it's dope. I think that Rihanna's Fenty line has been, and I don't want to take anything away from her or Puma, but surprisingly good.
Yeah,
Because-
absolutely. There's a lot of smart stuff releasing. Out there. There's
exactly.
some wacky stuff. We've seen those
But
tall
still
boots
good, though.
for thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
and some really off the wall type stuff. But the core, these,
Yeah.
the creepers,
Yeah.
the
The bow
tie
yeah.
joints, a lot of good stuff.
Really dope. I mean, we tend to have, because we've been in the game for so long, I think we have jaded or low expectations for entertainers and brands when they come together. But the newer crop of entertainer X brands collabs have been really dope, and this Fenty Rihanna stuff is really dope, really smart, and really core to her audience. I feel like a lot of times, Brendan, entertainers and brands get lost in trying to do something that's out of pocket for the entertainer, but this stays true, and it's really dope in my personal opinion.
Rich, we have a request from a viewer asking what we're wearing on our feet.
Oh, okay.
Do you think we can make that happen?
I
I'm
think
just gonna.
You can show yours, but what I'm rocking today, and you might be able to see it, but what I'm rocking today has a lot more to do with our guest.
We do have a guest.
We do have a guest you're going to want to stick around for. So I'll show you what I'm rocking during our guest segment.
Okay. We'll touch more on that later. But
yeah. Moving along, B. Diddy. News broke this week that Odell Beckham Jr. will be re-signing with Nike to the tune of several $1 million. Do you have the number?
For a gigantic sum. The figure that's out there right now believed to be worth more than $29 million over a 5-year period.
Over 5 years. So
additional incentives that could add another $1 million each year.
Sure.
Shout out to Nick DiPaolo from Nice Kicks. Big scoop.
Yeah,
nice work
absolutely. Shout out to Nick DiPaolo. We spoke about this, Brendan, amongst ourselves. Nike spending lavishly on NFL players. Obviously, Nike knows a lot more than I do. I still don't understand it so much because the average lifespan for an NFL player, especially for a wide receiver, is very small. That's on average, but it could be even worse. First game out, and there might be some outs in the contract. First game out next year, God forbid, but OBJ could take a tough hit going up the middle, and God forbid again, his career could be over, right? Nike has signed Victor Cruz in the past.
Gave him a signature shoe.
Gave him a signature. Same thing with Darrelle Revis, and shortly
Gave him a signature shoe.
Exactly. And shortly after signing Cruz and Revis, their careers basically sputtered out, and those sneakers are kind of irrelevant. No shots to either of them. So it's curious to me that Nike has bet so much money on OBJ.
I think it just speaks to how much they believe in him and they believe in his personality. You
That's
know,
it.
You talk about NFL guys, nobody has a personality quite like he does right
100%.
now, and he does so well on social media. You know, his following is huge, and he's such a defined character.
He's in the right circles.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was an interesting period there because he was wearing Yeezy. You know, he's been a Nike athlete, but he was kind of towing that line, and you could tell that maybe he was interested in going somewhere else. You know, you see him in Yeezys. People allude to him being, at Kanye West fashion show and things like that.
In Yeezys.
Yeah, I think this one kind of feels a little bit to me like when Nike and Under Armour were going at it over Kevin Durant.
Yep.
And while Under Armour did not get Kevin Durant, they still kind of got a small victory in that they made Nike pay so much.
And they got a lot of headlines.
Yeah, and even though Adidas obviously wanted Odell because they were ready to pay that much, at least they forced Nike's hand and made Nike come with a gigantic bag for him.
Yeah, I think that we're seeing a lot of reactive moves from Nike lately. Kevin Durant was one of them. OBJ is another one. And I'm not going to speak for the brand because I don't know, but in at least what you alluded to, securing the player so that they don't go anywhere else. You know, I completely agree that OBJ's worth is probably a lot more off the field than it is on the field, even though he's an amazing talent on the field, don't get me wrong. He was one of the leads in leaking the Supreme Gold up-tempos in that picture with Nicki Minaj, which went everywhere.
Great moment.
An iconic moment in sneaker culture. So I feel like using him as a driver for a lifestyle product is very smart. I'm just worried and concerned about his lifespan as an NFL player, but obviously Nike knows better than us, so who are we to question?
And of course, the funny asterisk to this whole thing is that Nike is actually paying him more than the Giants do now, which is... So
Adam Schefter, one of the most respected NFL reporters in the business, came out with this tweet today that Nike is paying more for OBJ than the Giants are themselves, which is not unheard of in basketball because obviously Nike supposedly gave LeBron a billy, but in football, it's just completely different.
Definitely let us know how you feel in the comments about did Nike make the right move here? Is Odell Beckham Jr. really worth that much?
We shall see.
Rich, getting back to kind of the sneakers, we saw another shoe that's been leaking for a little bit, but Nike confirmed it today. This is the Nike SF AF1 Mid.
Yep.
In 2016, they released the Nike SF AF1 Nike Special Field Air Force One. Kind of combines the classic Air Force One silhouette with these military inspirations, designed by Ben Kirshner, great young designer at the brand who's done some work at Jordan and is now over on the Nike sportswear side.
Shout out to Ben Kirshner.
They got this new one. It's a bit more palatable. I mean, I like the Nike SF AF1, but
we both have pairs.
Yeah, but I just can't see myself wearing it too much. I think the SF AF1 Mid, which they unveiled today, and this Tiger Camel colorway will go on sale on June 8th. The new one that they've unveiled is just so much more palatable. Yeah. You know what I mean?
A lot more easily wearable. I have the Desert Camo pair, and I rock that pair a lot. I love it. We spoke about this earlier. I feel like the Mid cut is actually more in line with the high cut of a regular Air Force
It's kind
One.
of like the T-sheet thing where the bar was just raised across the board.
Right,
so the mid looks like a high.
And then the high that they've dropped so far is like that much higher.
Right.
So it's a lot more easily wearable.
But can we get much higher?
We'll have to ask Kanye.
And Ben.
And Ben. Can we get much higher, Ben? Let us know. Can we go up to the knees next time? So anyway, I feel like a lot more wearable, a lot more easily palatable, and I also like that it's a lot more military. The first one was military in that it had the double strap, but this with the writing on the side and the camo aesthetic is dope. Shout out to Ben Kirscher again, by the way, for making the AF1 great again.
Someone suggesting that there's going to be a low SFAF1 next. I haven't seen anything like that, and
That'd probably be whack.
Yeah, I don't know how they would really pull that off, but we'll see. There is definitely a taller one, although I don't know if it's in the same vein.
So we can get much higher.
Yeah, I don't know if it's called the SFAF1, but it's very high.
Okay.
It's got these thick cords around
like drawstring type things, like ripcord.
It's crazy.
You got the plug?
I mean,
I
wouldn't say that, but.
B Diddy, that takes us to the best and worst things that we saw on the internet this week. There's always a lot to choose from in this because there's like really good things and there's really bad things, but we took the time to curate the best and the worst. B Diddy, the best thing you saw on the internet this week.
My favorite thing, and of course this is, this comes down to personal opinion, what we really appreciated, seeing that the original neon colorway of the Nike Air Max 97 is coming back. Obviously Nike's doing a lot around the Air Max 97 this year. They started at the tail end of last year. We've spoke about this on the show plenty. I'm happy to see that this colorway is coming back. They brought it back in 2005, an Asia only release. I actually have.
Regional.
Yeah, exactly. It ties back to that. I have an OG pair, but I never really got to wear them. As soon as I went down the stairs, they just kind of fell apart on me.
Damn.
So I've been waiting to get another chance at these, and I'm hoping they'll be a little bit easier to purchase than the gold and the silver because those really flew. And I think it would have been easy for Nike to just skip over this colorway because I don't know how cherished it is. So I'm happy to see this one coming back. This is not an image of the new one. There are no images of the 2017 pair yet, but. Look forward to that. We
spoke about this also in the office. This sneaker, like you, resonates with me a lot, this colorway.
Right.
I remember it being a JP exclusive back in the day that I really wanted and couldn't get my hands on. But when these images, well, this is the OG, but when this news first broke, I found myself a lot less excited than I thought I would be. So when we posted on SC, I saw it and I was like, damn, I remember this sneaker so vividly, but it's just not hitting with me in 2017 like it was in 2005.
You're going to skip this one?
I'm going to skip this one, and the reason I'm saying that is because of what you alluded to. The silver and the gold, to me, are the Air Max 97s.
Once you check those boxes, you don't need anything
You
else.
can move on from that. This is a dope colorway, but once you have the silver and the gold, or the silver or the gold, it's kind of like you can move on from it.
Okay.
The Air Max 1, the Air Max 90, and especially the Air Max 95 are different in that way. I feel like those are more collectible with colorways, but I feel like the 97 is so defined by the gold and the silver that we can move on after that. Would I cop if I could, but I'm not thirsty.
Yeah.
I was thirsty as shit for the gold one though. You know that.
Oh, I recall. Justin in the comments hoping that they put these on Nike ID. I wouldn't be totally surprised.
97?
So, yeah.
Well, that might even link to, was it Bring Forward? What was the?
Sean Witherspoon's Nike Air Max 97.
What was I can't remember the name of the campaign.
Vote Forward.
Vote Forward, right. So he has a 97 coming out that's all corduroy and broken up like that. That would be dope to have that 97. It's a nice sneaker to break up.
I'll take it.
That would be dope.
Rich, tell me about the worst thing you saw in sneakers on the internet.
This is a very bittersweet moment for me, B. Diddy. Very bittersweet. Because the worst thing...
I could see a tear kind of forming in your eye a little bit.
You see that?
Yeah, talk to me.
I didn't think you would see that.
Talk to me.
The worst thing that I saw on the internet this week is the navy and gum Nike Air More up-tempo. And the reason that this is the worst thing that I saw is because the up-tempo, first of all, is an amazing and iconic sneaker, and it's enjoying one of the most amazing waves right now, and unexpected waves right now, right? Although it's an iconic sneaker and it was beloved back in the 90s, it was, it was an acquired taste, either way. It's enjoying one of the greatest waves right now. The black joint flew out, the Olympic joint flew out, the Hoopak joint flew out, Supreme did their thing on it, that flew out. So the up-tempo is really riding a dope wave right now, and I'm upset because we're about to crash that wave something crazy, right? Like, Nike is about to OD on the up-tempo, and I hate when they do that.
Right.
It's like we're at, the top of the wave, and all of a sudden it comes crashing down with colorway overload. This colorway is completely unnecessary. There's a Knicks colorway coming, right? There's another Bulls colorway coming, and then just earlier we saw a Wheat colorway coming.
Yeah, they're doing the most with this one.
It is absolutely the most. The Night Maroon joint that they just dropped is actually dope, but we're doing the most. It's like when we find a good thing, we just OD on it, and it's bittersweet because I love the sneaker, but it's like,
you've had enough.
Just let it die like in grace and in peace before we like, I don't know. I'm sorry, man. It's just, I had to say it. It had to be said.
I'm sorry you're upset.
B-Diddy, that brings us to our guest this week. One of the more controversial figures, we would say, in sneaker culture. Would you agree with that?
I guess we'll find out.
We're about to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, the Boost God OhitsTeddy.
The man himself. We'll
Come
bring
through,
him
my
on
man.
down.
Come through. Teddy. First
Yes,
and
sir.
foremost, my man, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you guys for having me.
Teddy, real pleasure, real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we get into questions that we have for you today, please tell the people what brings you in town.
I'm here for a pop-up that I'm having at Rhyme in Brooklyn.
Okay.
We had one at Rise yesterday.
Okay.
Just here for that.
So what is a Boost God pop-up? Tell me.
Essentially, I make shirts that are location specific.
Okay.
So I just make something for every city or state that I visit.
Okay.
And then I just release them there. Generally, I make a very certain amount. It's usually under 75, 100 shirts.
Okay.
And then, just announce where I'm going to be on Twitter or via my vlog.
Yeah.
And people just come through and we just have a good time.
That's what's up. So let me ask you a question. How did you get to the point where you could even have a pop-up shop? How did this happen?
I just did it with no Nike pun intended.
Okay,
I literally
you
just
fell
did
into
it.
that one though.
Yeah, I just, I'd done the merchandise just through my channel because the supporters of the channel were trying to figure out a way to help me.
And this is on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Okay.
Is that where your audience is biggest, you would say, on YouTube?
Yeah, it's the largest following that I
Yeah.
have.
How big is it there?
It's creeping on 87,000,
Okay.
I think, this week. So,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was making merchandise for that, and it was selling out pretty instantly online, which, to my surprise, shout out to everybody that supports. But
And this merch was Boost God merch.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. And then I decided that I wanted to just kind of get out there and meet the people that were supporting me. Like seeing the numbers on the screen just
Absolutely.
didn't
Doesn't
do
mean
it for
anything.
me. Yeah. So I just and when I did that, as an incentive for people to come out and a way to help me get from spot to spot, I just designed shirts for each place, and then again just would announce, and then people would just show up. And
Yeah.
the first time that I did it was actually in New York City,
Okay.
out of the trunk of my car.
Okay.
And
I
like,
respect
when
a
was
lot of
that?
that was 5 months ago,
Okay.
maybe 4 months ago.
Okay.
So, and it was out just like pulled up on the street in Soho, and we probably sold like 30, 40 shirts out of the trunk,
Okay.
mixtape
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
And then as it went, stores started reaching out. I would hit up stores and they'd give me their blessing, and it just kind of like
To do
grew.
an official pop-up type.
Yeah, it
thing.
just grew. Some places started paying me to come out. Like it just grew and grew and grew. So
Yeah, that's
and
dope.
now I just bring the crowd usually. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been surprised by that reaction? I mean, I think that's why
Surprises every day.
a lot of people, it's like, I don't know. We're in this strange era where the people on social media are the superstars, and people are interested in just meeting, not just, I don't want to say just a YouTuber, but
Right.
somebody who collects shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting for sure. It's always surprising, but at the same time, I don't see a huge difference between a YouTuber versus what else you would consider a celebrity. There's still an amount of work that goes into doing it. There's still an incredible amount of courage that it takes to expose your life in the way. Well, for me, it's a vlog, so I'm exposing parts of my life, and I'm also putting parts of my life on hold so that I can share it with everybody else. I'm like telling people I can't go to dinner, I gotta do this. So I mean, at a point, I think that it is admirable just as a sport. Not saying that I put in as much work as a sports star, but
You looking for that Odell Beckham contract?
yeah, I'm looking for. I mean,
Adidas,
if someone
come
wants
with
to
it.
throw the bag out, I'll grab it. But I think it's interesting, but it's interesting to me too when I take interest in someone on the internet. And I see a designer or an artist, and I'm like, man, I want to find out more about this guy. So I just think it's where we are as a culture.
I have a three-part question for you.
Okay.
Is that themed? Is that like a three stripes, three-part? Because if
three
so, I
answers.
gotta tip
We're
my
putting
cap
crazy
to you.
here.
Stripe 1.
Incredible.
So
incredible
yeah,
work.
so
Incredible
for your
word,
first
right?
Adidas stripe, who were you before you became the Boost God? Wait, hold up.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna hit me.
Yeah,
all
I'm gonna hit
three.
you with all
Okay.
three. How did you become the Boost God?
Okay.
Right? And most importantly, I need to know why you became the Boost God.
Okay. So before I was the Boost God, I was just, and I still am the same person, but a tattooer, but also this person that was looking for all these other avenues of creativity. I'm
Okay.
always doing something like making music or working on different types of art outside of tattooing. So always just sort of looking for this catalyst.
Sure.
What was the second part? How did I become
How,
the Boost
yeah,
God?
how
the way,
does one ascend to
Yeah.
Boost Goddom?
Real quick, TJ Hitchens in the comments wants
Yeah.
you to know, Teddy, we're out here watching from the line.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. TJ's the man.
All right.
The kid's cool.
Salute to you, TJ.
Yeah, salute to TJ. So how was the fans?
Okay.
I don't like calling them fans, but my support.
But did you give yourself the name?
No.
Okay.
I assume a kid.
Okay.
I don't know his age, but I think his name's Justin. He's gonna kill me, and if he's watching, he's gonna kill me.
This is
But,
history. This needs to
yeah,
be written down.
I posted a.
This can't be lost
I
on
got
history, this
bored. I
question of
had
who
all
dubbed
my
you the Boost
had all
God.
my shoes. I
Okay.
got bored one day. I went to IKEA. I bought all these shelves.
Yeah.
I'd already had the vlog.
Yeah.
So the vlog went from just like no background to essentially my whole collection was behind me on these shelves.
And were all these Boost sneakers?
Everything, yeah.
Okay.
That's all I own. So
That's all you own?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So once that picture got on basically Twitter,
Yeah.
it kind of went everywhere.
Okay.
And then I think with on the channel or on Twitter, the kid called it like, "Man, you're like Boost God," and then it just stuck. Like people just kept doing it. You
Gotcha.
know? So that's just how it happened.
And that leads into the last part of that. Why Boost and Boost only, since you just said that's all you have?
Right.
Why?
Because I was a huge sneakerhead, like from pretty much the time I could pick up a pair of shoes.
Sure.
Nike Air came out in my childhood. All the good Jordans, in my opinion, came out in my childhood. And then Nike stopped making the stuff that I liked, and SB kind of ended out of the pink boxes for me. And then I didn't do sneakers for a long time. Like my regular life happened. And
So when did you kind of get away from that, or when did?
Pink box.
Okay.
Like pretty much literally pink. I remember I came to New York City to cop the Maneki Neko pack.
Yeah.
And I didn't cop. I was like second person in line, which, this is like right at the beginning of lines for any shoes,
Sure.
So second person in line and not copying my size and just being like completely just like, all right, this is not really what I want to do. And then the stuff after that, when they changed it, was it teal boxes?
Was it? No, it's black and purple.
Okay, so the stuff that came after that I just wasn't into.
Yeah.
Just like, I thought it started to get goofy,
Okay.
and that was what turned me off. So then
Rest in peace, the pink box era of Nike
Nike
SBs.
SB when it started, when it was the small batch stuff, was amazing.
Ridiculous, yeah.
So I moved on from all of that. It just lost its magic to me because I didn't like basketball shoes because I was a skateboarder in high school.
Gotcha.
So none of the Jordan stuff spoke to me past being like 9, 10 years old.
Okay.
So
And certainly then none of the new Nike basketball stuff that was coming out.
Yeah,
like
nothing.
LeBron's, Kobe's.
Yeah, the only thing
KD's.
I ever went back to was like a Huarache, and that was just because they stopped making the Nike Air 180. So there was all this kind of just like me being pissed off at Nike, and then so I didn't.
We've
buy
all been
any.
there.
Yeah, I didn't buy, but I didn't.
Speak for
But I left her. That's the difference. Like I left that bitch. You
Was
know
that
what I mean?
So that was a conscious decision of yours? Like, I'm out of Nike.
I'm out of just the sneaker game. Like I was like, because I was a big Nike guy, and
Yeah.
I'd buy something random here and there,
Okay.
like a Reebok or an Adidas, but never like I would with Nike, And then it was a conscious decision to stop caring about sneaker stuff.
So the conscious, gotcha.
And just sort of like delving into my own art, like, all right, let me spend my time delving and creating my own stuff because
Yeah.
I'm not happy with anything else I'm perceiving, So, and then I just went to LA on a trip, like just an art trip, like to go hang out at the tattoo shop and get inspired. I went there in some slides, like flew on the plane in slides and was like, I'll find shoes when I get there, whatever, and tried on NMDs, and that was
it.
literally it. Yeah, I
So-
spent $10,000 in a month.
On Boost.
On Boost because I was just like bugging. Because
Yeah.
when I found out after I tried them on, I found out how comfortable they were. Then I started looking back and I was like, oh, there's all these collabs. Like there's collabs like there used to be with Nike Quick Strike.
Yeah.
Like, they're actually like fucking with the artist,
Yeah.
you know, and like that got me.
So what
like,
Adidas is doing with that type of stuff now is what Nike SB was to you back then.
Exactly.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just had they had their finger on the pulse of like what was cool.
Did you get rid of? Do you have Nike stuff
Everything
still? Do you
I
have
owned
Jordan
got
stuff
stolen.
What?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Same person who stole the cream white
Yeah.
Yeezys off my doorstep.
No, I know the dude
hit
that stole all this stuff. He's out in
Really?
the middle of the ocean, but he's alive.
damn.
He's alive in the middle of the
Oh,
ocean,
okay.
but he's like on a boat. That sounded sketchy.
He's on a boat.
We'll cut that part out.
Yeah,
We'll cut that
but
part out.
everything I owned was just like taken. So I started.
So you
over
started
with
fresh.
nothing, yeah.
So, I don't know if I can say like that I've taken shots or whatever. It's not really shots. It's more of just a surveying the marketplace, surveying the culture, and giving my opinion on it. I personally feel that the Boost cult thing is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
I feel like yourself, we were probably all Nike heads at one point or
for
another,
sure,
because
yeah.
they just dominated sneakers culture for so
absolutely.
In the
long.
U.S., if you
There's
grew
no,
up in
from
the U.S.
there's no way you could.
Yeah.
But even at Nike's height, and I'm not saying they're not at their height now, I don't think there was ever this like rabid cult behind Nike at this level.
Disagree.
At
There
this level
still
so
is.
quickly?
Not so quickly,
Okay.
but you got to think that there's different parameters now too. We didn't have the internet, but if you could take every knucklehead that was out at
there's
the
plenty of
basketball
knuckleheads.
court
Yeah.
back when anything 23 dropped, and put them all in and gave them all a vessel,
Yeah.
you'd have the same amount of
The
what
stands,
seems
though?
ridiculous.
Like,
I think so. Yeah. You still have Jordan stands. Like anywhere I go, I see like 65-year-old men wearing Jordan windsuits, like with
out to
the
those
collar
dudes.
popped, and they're feeling themselves. You
I
know,
think to
so-
some extent too, the precursor to this, was Nike Talk, and I think in those
Sure.
days, I think people, not all of them, but I think a lot of people who were on that message board were rabid about Nike in the same way that people today are rabid about Adidas. It's just
Yeah.
different forms.
I guess, but my biggest problem with it is how quickly most people went from Nike head to Adidas stan. So quickly. I'm not saying that this
I
happened with
feel
you
you.
because you just
Yeah.
told your story, but you could catch the same person a week ago on Twitter like, yo, Jays are everything,
Right,
Nike
right.
head till I die,
Right.
and then next day like, yo, Boost is life.
I mean, you're in a hype beast realm though. So
Right.
some people are. It's just that. It's like, okay, that's the same question I get. People are like, what are you gonna do when Boost dies? I'm like, wear Ultra Boost, because then y'all can move on, and unless they double the size of the Boost.
So you're waiting for the Boost wave to die out too, so you could just live in peace.
I mean, no, not at all. I love the fact that people are like that hype, like
Okay.
about anything. Like just the fact that people can bring themselves out of whatever is going on and feel a certain way about a shoe. You know,
Okay.
if you have time for that, life has got to be somewhat okay. You know, or at least it's giving you escape from a life that's not somewhat okay.
Understood.
Right.
So for that, I never get annoyed or anything by like people being on it. But my whole response just to when they're like, well, something else is going to inevitably come along and
Yeah.
crush it. I'm like, if that's how you feel, then fine, go ahead. But like, that's how I know I'm not a hype beast in the sense like
Sure.
if Ultra Boost tomorrow they stop making pairs,
Yeah.
I'm straight. You know, so it's like
We're gonna check on you if that happens because we want to make sure you're.
Yeah, I'll be sad, but I'll be straight.
Do you worry that you're limiting yourself? I mean, like, I don't know if do you buy Nike stuff at
I don't
all
buy
anymore?
anything
Like,
from
I mean, what if
anybody, yeah.
I just feel like there's a lot of good stuff happening in the market right now from a lot of different brands. Like, do you worry that
I don't think so. Like, there's
none of the
nothing
Flyknit
that's-
stuff does nothing for you?
I don't like the way any of it looks. I don't like Vapor Max and all that stuff just doesn't even look good to me. You know, it's stuff that I wish if it had happened 10 years ago, absolutely.
You'd be
You
on
know,
it.
because it'd have been like, oh, a huge, basically whole air bubble sole. We were asking for that in middle school.
Right.
You know, a cause
That
collab,
is
we
the
were
truth.
asking for that in 2000. You know, so it's like none of this stuff really doesn't strike me aesthetically, so it never gets to the point where I'm like, well, let me put it on. Plus, I know there's no boost in it. Like, it's really on
It's
some
that
like,
serious.
Yeah, it's that like, this is the most comfortable thing I've ever worn. It's that serious to me. So
How much of the Boost wave, though, do you think is an anti-Nike wave?
I think a lot of it
Right?
is, yeah. But I think that's okay too, because Nike's been around for a long time. It's jaded and disenfranchised a lot of its
I'm
loyal
kind of with you on that.
following.
I don't mind if people are hating on Nike. If people feel like they've been slighted by Nike
and
over the
same for
years.
Adidas. When Adidas does something whack, like a lot of people will say that I'll just co-sign anything Adidas does, which is not true.
Okay.
When Adidas does something whack, I'm like, this is the wackest thing I've seen ever.
What's the wackest thing in the past year?
The tubular that they put Boost on for no reason.
Okay.
You know, like I thought that was completely, it's cosmetic to a point, and I'm like, don't do this. Don't put just Boost on it to make me think I'm buying a Boost shoe, and then I put it on and I feel like I'm walking in a Jordan 1.
Yeah.
You know, so
is this just hit me because you said they're doing a bit too much. Is the NMD dead?
No.
No. Are you sure about that?
He's got them on right now.
I love this.
He's got
This
the
is my
glitch camo
favorite
on.
thing because
Shout out
the
to sneakers and
NMD, that's tunnel vision. Is what that is. That's like you're saying. Like earlier, you said something about being a little jaded because we kind of do this
sure.
in and out. That's what that is. You know, if NMDs tomorrow, if they stop making NMDs tomorrow, everybody in the world will be kicking themselves for leaving those wheats sitting on the shelves and the new Oreo colorway sitting on the shelves. People are just always think there's another one coming, another one coming. So they're like, okay, let me be selective. But
that's what I'm saying. Was saying earlier, it just speeds up the death of the model.
But tomorrow, if they stop doing it tomorrow, every NMD that you passed on is now a coveted shoe, and that's how NMD happened in the first place. Nobody cared. Everyone passed on it, and then all of a sudden, everybody wanted it. So I don't think the NMD is anywhere close to dead.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree. But that might be my tunnel vision. I just feel maybe we're just looking at it from a different perspective, but it's just too much, man.
There's a lot of them, but there's not nearly as many NMDs as you get on an Air Max. There's a lot of there's a lot of time to catch up on. You know, like as you say, like none of us have Adidas for years like that. You got Adidas collectors for maybe. I mean, there's some hardcore Adidas collectors who've been out forever. I'm not trying to say there's not, but as far as like Boost models, you know, like if you have this rabid wave that you say, you have a lot of time to make up as Adidas. You have a lot of gaps to fill and a lot of colorways.
Do you think those people are going back? Oh, just for Boost stuff?
Yeah, for Boost stuff. I don't think, personally, I think once you try on Boost, like.
So you're not copying any Superstars or Stands or Concords?
The classic stuff doesn't do much for you.
Even the 3D printed, I got the 3D runners.
Future Craft joints?
Yeah, not the 40s, but the 3Ds.
Yeah.
You don't like those?
They're great, but they're not comfortable. Like, I think it gives a lot of support. Like the upper, it makes me realize how much the upper plays a part in the Ultra Boost being comfortable.
Yeah.
But standing around on all day, it's not like Boost.
Okay.
You know, I'm interested to see what the 4D is like, where it has like, you know, it's more flexy.
Yeah.
To see if that's more comfortable, but I just think the Boost, the comfort of it, you know, it's
you need the Boost.
I need it. Yeah, it's not a shtick. It's like really like
you know, see the thing about and this is why we can get to it now. From they asked what we're rocking. I rock these today, very purposefully, right?
Nice.
So this is the Boost Knits or the Pure Boost Adidas Boost Knits, right? And the reason I rock this sneaker is because, and I've said this before, Boost. And I'm gonna agree with you, is by far the most comfortable thing I've ever worn in my entire life. Right? There's no denying that. And as you can see from this, I was on the Boost wave very early. Because no one gave a damn about Boost when these dropped at all. Yeah. And before Kanye rocked the Boost Knits a couple weeks ago, no one gave a damn or even knew what the hell a Boost Knits was. And the Boost Knits is one of my favorite Adidas sneakers ever of all time. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a PK version too that everybody loves.
Yeah. But the reason I rock them is because, and it goes back to my question, is that I don't think anyone is really, I feel like a lot of people are just caught up in the wave and not understanding or doing the knowledge to go back and make up that time that you're talking about because you slept on, not you, but people slept on these, couldn't care less. But now they're rabid about the NMD, but don't understand that there's plenty of Boost out there besides the NMD.
But they will figure that out. That's what I'm saying. Like if tomorrow, you know, like when someone just now cops like the, you know, whatever colorways are sitting, like the Harvest Gold, whatever it's called.
Linen.
Okay, the linen. You know, when someone gets that and then they go home, if that's their first NMD, they're like, well, let me see what other colorways, let me look, and then they find out about the French beige, which is still like a pretty, released a few times, but a lot of people want that shoe. So I do think that it helps kind of like with the back catalog, it creates that, let me search for everything, let me get them all, you know? I
hope so. I think that that thought process is aligned with mine in that we, as devout sneakerheads, might go back and do the knowledge, but I just don't think that new NMD cats are going to go back and do that.
That's interesting.
I personally don't think so.
That's just my own perspective, too, because that's where I came from. Like, I found a plain GR shoe, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I'm like, well, what else is out there? And then I'm like, oh, there's a whole bunch. Like, let me go ahead and do some work, you know. But
speaking about kind of your relationship with the brand as a fan, I want to know like what's your relationship with the brand like on a professional level? Like, do you get people from Adidas hitting you up saying supporting what you do and stuff like that? Do you know people there? Like, what's that like? Since you are obviously, you know, doing a lot to put their product on a platform.
It's we have an interesting relationship, me and Adidas. So there's parts of Adidas that I think are unsure about me and don't really like understand. I don't know, like understand me. You know? So, but then anyone in like the, you know, I guess like marketing area or any of the store managers around the world or down to employees, they all love me. You know, so it's just like there's a little bit of the corporate side of it, I guess, where I don't understand a lot of things business-wise. I don't understand why some things happen. But then the other side is there's a massive amount of support. You know, it's like being on the seated list and
so
stuff
they're
like
sending
that.
you sneakers.
Yeah, they're seeding me now. Like some pairs, I've gotten like 2 or 3 pairs from them with special boxes and stuff like that. So it's been recognized. But yeah, it's back and forth. You know, it's one
Do you
person
ever
I deal with
worry?
is
Because
great.
like it's part of what we worry about. It's, you know, like, am I doing too much, or, you know, am I not taking them to task enough and things like this? You know what I mean?
As far as what? Like, what do you?
As far as the product, like, you know, we talk about the product all day long, and a lot of it we really like, but you know, should these brands be paying you for this sort of?
I don't know. I mean, at that point, if the brand's paying me, then I'm kind of like,
endorser.
yeah, it's like at some point you're like, okay, well, I can't tell you how I really feel about this.
Right.
And I think that's what's so important about independent support. Like, that's why people support me the way they do, is because as much as I have my own perspective and maybe, I can't think of the word off the top of my head, like, I don't know, like being bipartisan or non-bipartisan, you know, and as much as I have my own perspective on it, I'm still not paid. I'm still like, if something I don't like it, and they know they're getting my real opinion versus like, well, I like this shoe, but Adidas just paid my rent, or I don't like this shoe, but Adidas just paid my rent, so you should really go out and get it.
Yeah.
And that's never something that I would want to do. Like, I would never want to have to say something's cool and mislead anybody and have them believe that it's my personal preference to have something that's not. And I think that really, you know, down to anything, like Grant Hill drinks Sprite. You know, if Grant Hill didn't really drink Sprite, then he shouldn't be saying it. You know, I don't know if Grant Hill drinks Sprite or not. But
I feel like LeBron doesn't drink a lot of Sprite.
I'll call Grant Hill.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I always want to be able to maintain my independence, you know. So I'm an independent YouTube rapper.
Before we get into our lightning round here, I just have one question. You told us that you were given the Boost God moniker.
Right.
It's not something that you gave
I
yourself.
didn't
but
create it. No.
do you like being the Boost God?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't understand it on all levels.
Okay.
You know, I don't understand a lot of things in life though. So it's just how it is, you know. To me, it's all love. You know, if someone's giving
Someone
me
got a Boost God
nickname,
tattoo though. Is that right? Can you? Because I saw this on Twitter or IG. There was a female, right, who got a Boost God tattoo, and I'm glad that you're here because I wanted to make sure that this was an actual real thing that happened.
Oh, it
I would be
happened.
scared if I were you at
It
that point.
happened.
Wow, how did this happen?
She came to the pop-up with her
To you.
boyfriend. Yeah,
To your pop-up.
Yeah,
Said
to
with
my
her
pop-up
boyfriend.
with her boyfriend. And then maybe husband, I don't know.
Stop.
Nah, I can't. I don't remember. They're both really nice, but yeah, they came. They were in line. They bought merch, and then he was like, she has a question, and I haven't tattooed in like 4 months, so she's like, would you be willing to do your signature on my arm? And I was like, yo, if that's what you want to do, we could do it. You know.
Is that the height of Boost Gotham? Like,
no,
is
that's probably not even close to it.
No?
Nah, it's gonna
Get
get
the
bigger.
hell outta
It's
here.
gonna get bigger.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's just like, I think I'm just like the cool uncle.
Okay.
Like the cool older brother, and like people just like,
Wow.
you know what I mean?
That's
like
crazy.
I'm from a different side of, you know, I'm a tattooer. I've kind of lived like a little bit of a different lifestyle, and it's worked out. And I think people are, even aside from the shoes, and I don't understand it, but I think people are a fan of me.
Okay.
And that's where it comes from. You know, it's like, as an artist, I think she respects me as an artist.
Yeah.
Whether that be visual or, you know,
And as a
whatever
god.
it is. As what?
As a god.
As a god
Let's
of
not
some
forget
sort.
that.
Yeah. But I like to clarify that I think we're all gods. You know, I don't hold myself above.
Like Kanye.
Yeah,
like
I
Kanye.
literally, you know, it's funny because when I Am a God came out, I was working on a song called We Are Gods.
Okay.
You know, and it was like a beat that we were making
Sure.
in New York. So I've thoroughly believed that for a long time.
Okay.
I'm gonna be Reebok workout god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bach
You can
God.
be-
I'm gonna be
sounds
God.
good. Yeah.
God, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can be a god or whatever you want to be.
God,
you
sham
know?
God. So But just because you just opened up another thing, does the Boost God thing take away from you as a person, your artwork at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think people like put it together. You know, like the only people that don't are like haters. You know, who are just like, oh, well, without Boost, you're nothing. And I'm like, well, no, this was just kind of the catalyst that exposed to people the type of person that I am.
I got you.
And then that's the marriage that makes it work.
Okay. And if someone branding themselves with the Boost God label is not the height of Boost Gotham, man, I salute to you.
Yeah, I want a cruise line, you know.
And
the Boost Goddess, so cruise lines, you know.
And she came through with her.
Sacrifices. We need ritual sacrifices.
Yeah, you got
She
an
came through with
orb
her
that we
husband
can
or
touch or something.
her husband or boyfriend witnessed you.
Yeah, he was all
Tag
about
her.
it. He was about it. He was like, "Is this gonna be in the vlog?" You know, he was like making sure.
Excellent.
I don't understand 2017.
I respect it. I respect it.
It's a collaborative. We're here collabing, man. It's a
All
collab.
right. All right, Teddy.
Let's
so,
build, fams.
whenever we have a guest on, we like to do a quick lightning round. So we are going to fire off a handful of questions.
Okay.
You know, just as
No
quick as you
thinking,
can.
off the dome. You're familiar with rap music.
No
so-
thinking is easy for me.
Yeah. So we'll continue with that. B Diddy,
Okay.
first up.
Better designer, Tinker Hatfield or Nick Galway?
Tinker.
Air Jordan 3 or Adidas Ultra Boost?
Adidas Ultra Boost.
Okay. You already answered this one, but how many Nikes do you currently own?
0.
How many did you have? Since
At
you
the
have
height
none
of
now?
my collection, SB, probably 50 to 60 pairs of SBs, because that's probably all there are in pink boxes, though, if even that.
Yeah. Favorite Nike sneaker of all time?
Nike Air 180.
Nike
Not
Air
even
180.
a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
The
Prime
opium colorway.
Is PrimeKnit a Flyknit ripoff?
No.
No.
Flyknit looks like trash, man. Flyknit is like.
Is there a Flyknit? Is there a PrimeKnit god out there? That could be like a sidekick.
I did say something. I said knit god one day on the blog, and then someone made like a logo. Maybe even changed their Twitter name to knit god.
Oh wow.
So you're saying Flyknit is trash, or looks like trash?
It just looks bad. The way it's
Okay.
woven together and looks. I just don't like the way it looks. It's not open. Like that's one of the big things about the 1.0 PK is that kind of like the open little like pockets that make it look breathable.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I like. The Flyknit just looks like Spider-Man took acid and decided to go wild.
That was in a Nike press release somewhere. I think.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
What's your
Welcome to
inspiration?
Flyknit.
Spider-Man dropped some acid.
And the reason we asked that is because obviously there was that back and forth of Nike and
Right.
Adidas,
Yeah.
and it went to court.
And then but
patent.
it also, the designers left Nike, went to Adidas, correct? Like, so we have. I'm not saying that Flyknit has no place in the story,
Okay.
but it's been approved upon by the time it got to Adidas. And that's my
Okay.
thing. It's like.
So Prime
whatever.
will Flyknit any day in terms of your.
Yeah, I mean, I think Flyknit is fine and it has its place in the story, but I think
not for the Boost
Adidas.
God.
I think Adidas perfected it. Yeah.
Where can we find you, Boost God?
All over the internet, all
Okay.
day long, usually.
Google,
But,
Google me, bitch.
Yeah, you can
Where
definitely
exactly,
Google me.
though?
But Twitter at OhitsTeddy,
Yeah.
Instagram at OhitsTeddy, Snapchat at Teddy2Tex.
And tell us again what's going on today with the pop-up.
The pop-up is at Rhyme in Brooklyn. I have these shirts that I made. One is a Godzilla shirt,
Okay.
and then the other one
Where's
is
ours?
a Sugar Skull. What is it?
Where's ours?
Oh yeah, I
No
don't know. They
shirts
might be
fixed.
sold out
Man.
already. Just kidding.
All right.
They're at but yeah, it's at Rhyme today at 5 o'clock. And yeah, and you can
Sounds
find
good.
me on YouTube at
And
OhitsTeddy
will you tat someone if they come through asking for a Boost God?
I don't
tat?
have any tattoo equipment today. So
no
it's gonna be
no
a-
Boost
it's
God
gonna be
cat, no Boost God
yeah,
tats today at
yeah.
Rhyme.
Make it happen.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for joining
yeah.
us, my brother.
It's
really
been a real
appreciate
pleasure.
It was
Appreciate
it was
God in
a
the flesh.
very clarifying experience
Nice.
for me.
I'm not walking around with like a robe being like, I'm God.
That would have been dope though.
I did get a
You
robe
need a
from
orb.
the
You
W.
need a orb.
I got the W Hotel sent me a robe that says Boost God on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, there are definitely levels to Boost God.
Yeah, we're out here. Cruise ship coming soon.
B Diddy, before we get out of here, talk to me.
I just want to thank everyone for tuning in again. We should be here pretty regularly on Wednesdays, so
Yes.
definitely look out for one next week. We're always
Yes.
happy to break down all the sneaker releases and relevant news that's going on.
And that's that. I'm Rich Mays Lopez with my man.
Brendan Dunne, news editor at SoulCollector.com.
This was Full Size Run. Until next time, y'all. Peace.